NBC7 News Today begins with breaking news.
What started as a Sunday afternoon birthday party ended with those gunshots you just heard right there.
And right now, we know that one woman, a victim, is dead. 7 others are in the hospital at this hour, and the gunman shot and killed by police. And we now know his identity as well. He was 49-year-old Peter Sellis.
Now, there's still a lot of new information coming out this morning. We're tracking it with team coverage. Gabby Rodriguez is outside Scripps La Jolla Hospital, where some of the victims were taken. Megan Tevrizian is here in our NBC7 studios with how a witness is describing that terrifying scene. But let's begin with NBC7's Elena Gomez. She's live at the La Jolla Crossroads Apartments right now, where police are trying to figure out why the gunman started shooting in the first place. Elena.
Good morning, Greg. Well, last time we heard from Chief Shelley Zimmerman, she said they had a lot of information to sift through. At the point last night, they did not know a motive in this shooting, but that they said they have many witnesses to talk with. They also have the 3 officers that were involved in that shooting with the gunman. So a lot of information to get to. As you can see, this area here just outside the complex is still blocked off this morning, taped up, completely surrounding this apartment complex. You can see that tape stretching here. You can also see just beyond us a sort of command post where the police have set up this morning, but just a wide area here still blocked off. This is the 9,000 block of Judicial, and this is where that investigation remains. A lot of information, as I mentioned, to get through. So police still saying they do not have a motive just yet on all of this. They also tell us that they still need to interview the victims involved, many of them obviously still injured and in surgery. But here's the latest that we know. Just after 6 o'clock last night, several people called 911 about that shooting at a pool in an apartment complex. Officers brought in their helicopter first, which spotted numerous victims down after that shooting. They also saw the gunman still in the pool area with a handgun. They also believed he was reloading his weapon. We also then know that a sergeant and 2 officers confronted that gunman. That's when the suspect, or the gunman here, pointed the gun at the officers, and the officers fired at that gunman, killing him. We also know that 8 victims were taken to the hospital, 4 of them women, 3 of them men. We also know that 1 of the women died after that shooting. But here's what one woman said. Many people obviously here Sunday evening, and many of them saw some of what was going on. Listen to one woman to see what she said.
Lots of screaming, lots of people screaming, and then another minute went by, more shots, and the police came and more shots. This went on, probably total duration was 10 minutes.
Yeah, so a lot of witnesses here, as we're hearing from police, a lot of them obviously shaken up. So Chief Shelley Zimmerman was saying that her prayers and thoughts are with the families here and also for those witnesses that were here at the time of that shooting. So we're continuing to update you on new information that we do get. We haven't got any new information from officers here at the scene, but of course we'll update you when we do. I'm still sifting through some interviews with Chief Shelley Zimmerman, so I'll try to bring you more updates on that as well. Send it back to you guys in the studio.
Okay, Elena, and continuing on this right now, several of the shooting victims are recovering at Scripps La Jolla Hospital.
And we continue our team coverage here. We have NBC7's Gabby Rodriguez with reaction from one witness who saw several of the victims sprawled out all around the pool from his apartment's balcony. Gabby?
Yes, that apartment balcony overlooks the pool. It's a UC San Diego student living in the complex, and he grabbed his phone right away and recorded a lot of what was going on. He heard several gunshots, and what we now know is that he was able to walk outside and record a lot of this scene. There was pools of blood surrounding the pool, and a man is sitting in a chair with a beer and a gun on his lap. That is what Ricky, the man who shot the video, says that he saw. As he loaded everything onto Snapchat, and as the story progresses, you can hear the relief in his voice when he realizes the victims that he could see from his balcony are moving.
Everyone should be sending out their prayers to the victims who got shot. You know, they're still moving, but we don't know what's going on in the hospital. And I'm just really like fed up, and it's really hard to see that happening to people who are not expecting it to happen to them.
Yes, Ricky describes that experience as emotionally draining. Now, coming up in our next half hour, we're going to share with you a little bit more about what Ricky shared with us and show you some more of that Snapchat video as he describes some of the injuries that he could see from his vantage point from his balcony. Live in La Jolla, Gabby Rodriguez, NBC7.
Okay, and we are getting a lot of our information from Snapchat. So new this morning, NBC7 spoke with a man who was taking a Snapchat when the gunman started shooting.
Yeah, he says he jumped a fence to get to a boy who'd been shot there, and then he carried that man to safety, or that boy to safety. Megan Tevrizian has that part of the story from over at the live desk right now.
Yeah, Marianne and Greg, just moments after the shooting, NBC7 talked to Drew Phillips. He's a witness who was at a pool party for his friend. He said at first he heard what sounded like fireworks, and then after a few seconds, he realized it was gunshots.
Then I automatically zoomed in on where the noise was coming from. And that's when I realized, oh, someone's actually shooting a gun at people. So, for the most part, that's when all the scrambling started and jumped the fence. And like I said, there was a young man there just laying there, clutching his, and he just says, "Drew, I'm hit." And I said, "Oh, well, come here," and I picked him up. And I just carried him, around the corner, down the block, really.
Now, Drew said no one at the party knew the gunman. He sat in a chair the entire time as he shot his victims. And we'll have more on this coming up later in the show. I'll send it back to Marianne and Greg.
All right, thank you, Megan. So here's an up-to-the-minute look at what we know right now about the shooting at that University City apartment complex.
And a recap, if you will, a terrifying evening for some people in La Jolla when sounds of gunfire erupted shortly after 6 o'clock last night at their apartment complex. Now, this happened at the La Jolla Crossroads Apartments. 8 people were wounded. One of them has since died, a woman. Police identified the shooter now as 49-year-old Peter Sellis. He was killed by 3 officers. Police are not releasing a motive at this time.
Now we're working to find out why Sellis may have started shooting in the first place. Stay with us here at NBC7 for any updates. We're going to be talking about this all day long. And if we're not on air at the time that something new comes out, we'll be sending out alerts through our NBC7 app, or you can also check in at NBC7.com.
And meantime, we are following another big local story about the woman who was attacked by a shark in the North County.
Yeah, this morning we have an exclusive interview with that woman's mother. Leanne Erickson is this single mother of 3 who was bitten by a shark on a North County beach over the weekend. There's a picture of her right there. Now, her mother, Christine McNerney Lytle, spoke exclusively to NBC7. She told us that her daughter is in a medically induced coma right now since the attack. And she got really emotional even just talking about what her daughter is going through right now and what happened over the weekend.
I can't imagine my daughter being in that water and a shark taking her under. How scared she was. She must have been so scared. So scared. My baby.
Well, she and her husband, Mark, who is Leanne's stepfather, shared with NBC7 what happened actually Saturday afternoon. They say Leanne was swimming alongside her boyfriend as he surfed at San Onofre State Beach, and that there were a lot of people in the water. The 2 of them were in the surf and first saw a seal, and then Leanne's boyfriend went to catch a wave when he heard her screams.
Yeah, she was gone. So he dived under, try and find her, and he couldn't find her. He came up, and the shark's tail was sloshing in the water, and then she popped up. He grabbed her and
Put her on the board.
Put her on the board.
Wow, pretty amazing. Leanne's boyfriend says the shark looked like it was about 10 feet long. He says he paddled Leanne towards a group of other surfers. One of those was an EMT that NBC7 spoke with over the weekend. Leanne's mother says that she credits the EMT's quick thinking to tie a tourniquet around her leg, and that's what they believe may have saved her. Today, the mother of 3 is in critical condition, again in a medically induced coma, according to her family.
It's 4:39 right now. A time check for you. We know you want to know about the First Alert weather and traffic.
Let's head over to Jody and Whitney right now. Good morning to you both.
Good morning to you. A little different today. We won't be as hot as we were over the weekend. So over the weekend, we saw the beaches hit the 80s. Inland valleys were near 90 degrees. And as you can see right now, we don't have any clouds out there. This is our First Alert sweeping Doppler. No clouds. We're going to see plenty of sunshine today, but not as hot and certainly not as windy. We had Santa Ana winds over the weekend, and here you can see on our watches and warnings, we don't have any. So free and clear of any warnings for you today. We are looking at a really nice day. It will be quite pretty. Looking at temperatures early on, it will be cool in the low 60s through about 9 a.m. and then we'll be more mild. We'll not need the jacket. At around lunchtime, we're going to start to see the 70s, and here's where we'll end up today. At the coastline, we're going to be 74. Sunny, a little breezy this afternoon, just a really nice day. And then inland valleys are going to be closer to about 82. So we'll be warm, just won't be ridiculously warm, the heat that we had this weekend. And then in the mountains, we're looking at a beautiful 74. The winds have calmed down, so you are looking at just a breeze this afternoon. And in the deserts, 94. It's hot, but it's where you should be. And you're looking at breezy conditions as well. Now, we do have a little bit of a bump up in temperatures before we see them come down for next weekend. I want to show you next weekend coming up in just a couple of minutes, and that's because we actually have a chance of showers in it. Yeah, we'll have that for you in just a bit. We'll send it to Whit.
Thanks, Jody. Okay, nice quiet start to the Monday morning commute. May 1st, by the way, 440, not much going on out there right now in first alert traffic. We will keep up speed, though, keep you on top of things all morning long. Keep it right here. So much news on this Monday morning. Let's get back over there.
Okay, Whit, thanks very much. And we are staying on top of any new developments on the University City mass shooting. We'll bring you updates during this newscast as our reporters work in the field. But we've also got some other local news to tell you about, like this. Today, a lot of people expected to take part in May Day marches all around San Diego County. As Whitney mentioned, it is May 1st. Why they say it's something all working people might want to pay attention to.
Also, today's a big day for teachers in the San Diego Unified School District ahead of a big push tonight to get some of those pink slips taken back. You're watching NBC7 News Today on this Monday morning. It's 4:41 right now.